Hey friends, what's going on? I'm holding a book and I'm pointing at it. That's how you start a video, right? So in this lesson, what I want to do is give a bit of a history and backstory to this channel that you're watching, okay? This notebook is basically where it all started, as far as the history of this channel and the weird desire and impulse I have inside me to share the notes I create for the songs I learn on guitar. This is where it all started. So this is basically a huge binder. It's full of laminated just songs that I wrote notes about, printed out, all that kind of stuff. So I created this back in 2002, 2003, 2004. I was sort of just finishing up at University of Maryland and learning to play guitar, and I wanted a way to keep track of everything. So in this video, I'm gonna look inside this thing, talk about making this, the lessons I learned, and how it sort of led me to ultimately making this YouTube channel in which the video exists you're watching now. So let's get right to it. So with that said, let's enter manual mode here where I will open up this notebook. I'm gonna come back to this cover later. It's something else that I'd like to talk about. Yeah, so this is the first few pages of this thing. Now basically a couple things you see here. One is a table of contents, okay? I'm going to talk about this in a second too. I have it by artist and also by alphabetical. But really what I want to do is talk about this piece of paper. And this is one that I've kept, and I think it's really important. And this represents how I used to learn songs initially. Even though when I was learning guitar, the internet was out there. There were things like the online guitar archive, Olga, and other news groups or wherever you could find guitar tabs. What I enjoyed doing more than anything was sort of writing down my own notes. And a couple of reasons for that is one, lots of times you'll find stuff online and the lyrics are wrong or this or that is wrong. There might be 3 different pages I found teaching me how to play a certain song. Each of those pages might be 70% correct, right? And that's fine, right? What I would like to do is sort of create my own sort of synthesis of the best stuff I could find for every song. And there's also the part of me that, as far as learning stuff, I just find if I write stuff down, it would sort of stick in my brain better. And, I was really focused on memorizing a lot of the lyrics back then. But basically what would happen is whenever I learned a song, I would write it down. I would write down all the chords and stuff. I would do this for every song I would learn, and I would learn the song. And, when you learn a song, you have it memorized. It's all in your head. You don't even need this anymore. So I would sort of lose these, or maybe I'd give them to friends, right, who were learning guitar as well. And that was fine, but what would happen is 6 months later or a year later, I'd want to play this song again and want to find that riff, and I couldn't find the piece of paper. It wasn't in my notebook, so that was a bummer. So at some point, what I started to do was type up these songs, these notes, okay? Typing them up basically would allow me to print them out when I needed them, give them away freely, but also reprint them out when I was done. So basically, what that would do is create stuff like this. So this is a Bob Marley song, Trench Town Rock, right? Just write down the lyrics. This is from Donnie Darko. This is another Sublime song. This is the White Stripes, really into the White Stripes, more White Stripes, right? So what would happen is you basically have, this is John Mayer, you have all these notes I was creating, right? And a couple reasons I like to do this again. So one is I found that all the stuff I would find online was often incorrect. And that was very much a bummer for me. And I would want to sort of correct it and sort of put together my own synthesized version. And 2 is I really enjoy just the consistency of format, right? If I type up everything and lay it out as I would sort of expect it to be laid out, what that would do is basically, it's always how I want it. And there was also a really fun challenge that came with all this stuff, which was, how can I get all these things to fit on a single piece of paper? Like you'll notice in this song, the font size is definitely a bit smaller than it is here, right? And that's fine, right? You got to make it fit. Another sort of convention I picked up was this idea of indenting based on the section of the song, right? So you have chorus, verse, and then the bridge is indented one level further. And the whole idea of this is that basically you can use indentation level as a guide. Like if you see the chords for the verse right here, you don't need those chords again here, at least in this sort of framework, right? Because it's indented the same, I just know I follow this structure. Obviously, the downside of not repeating the chords is if I don't have these memorized, it's all about compromise though. If I was to write out the chords for every line of the song, it would take up a lot more space. So basically, I'll say that as I made this over the years, it taught me a lot about how do you standardize the packaging of song information, given that every song is a little bit different, right? Some have just verse chorus, some have intros, some have bridges, Some have intros with multiple parts. Some have outros, right? I think like, let's see here. Thought we were looking at Patience by Guns N' Roses. Or Bubble Toes by Jack Johnson. Like this song has a very extended intro, right? Then the whole rest of the song is G, C, and D. So I basically just summarized it once right there. So yeah, so basically it just got me thinking over the years, as I made so many of these, it got me really trained into just thinking about formatting of things. So this is Mason Jennings, this is, Harry Chapin. This stuff is all sort of ordered alphabetically, I guess, but ultimately things get mixed up a bit, right? That's a downside of paper. Compared to a website, I can lay out a website and change the sorting and stuff based on, the user can change how things are sorted. You could sort by artist or sort by year or whatever. In a binder, you kind of have the limitation of things just are how they are. So I'm just going through this. You kind of get the idea. A lot of Sublime, a lot of Jimmy Buffett, Radiohead, Jimi Hendrix, Stone Temple Pilots, Bob Dylan, The Doors, Weezer, Pearl Jam, Radiohead. I played this one at open mic. The first year or two I learned guitar. Oh, this one I definitely played. I love that Big Lebowski, Mad World. Donnie Darko was a huge movie favorite of ours in college. This is another one from Weezer. Let me sit down here, finish up this little tour. Yeah, so you kind of get the idea here, right? I have lots of stuff in this book. You kind of have the idea at this point. Paul Simon, Jimmy Buffett, My Girl. I need to make a lesson for that one. This is an Emmylou Harris song. What do we got? More Jack Johnson. Big fan of Jack Johnson when I was learning guitar. The Beatles, Norwegian Wood. I was actually going to learn this one this week. I'm going to have to put that one off maybe to next week or so. Big Ben Harper fan. I love his Live at Mars Disc 2. Okay, we have a One Cup of Coffee. That's another Bob Marley song, early song that I think Sublime or Bradley Nowell might have covered. And what do we got? Some more Jack Johnson. Yeah, so you get the idea. Creating these over the years taught me a lot, and hopefully when I started to make my website and lay things out, it helped me just think about how do you take variable information and put it into a standard package. I'm pretty sure I'm repeating myself now. I love the scene in The Rock when Sean Connery is singing this in the shower. That's pretty funny to me. Jimmy Buffett, good stuff. Fruitcakes 94. More Sublime, more Marley. Yeah, so ultimately I'm glad I have this notebook. It is a cool way to remember all this stuff. Let me find one cool one before we go here. So yeah, if you're watching this far still and you see any of these songs that you want me to do lessons for, let me know. I would love to do that actually. That'd be a cool little series actually. Maybe do deep cuts from this book. A lot of these songs I probably wouldn't, I don't know if I would make lessons for anytime soon because some of these are so just like niche and I don't know. Honestly, I have to be kind of aware of these deep cuts from Bob Marley or Jimmy Buffett. Most people aren't really going to care, and that makes me sad to some degree, but I've gotten over it. And there's so many other fruits that are lower hanging that I haven't done lessons for at all, just classic songs. So anyway, there's some good stuff in here. But again, from the beginning, let me say, look at the link in the description if you want to find a note to all these printouts. It's in the description of this video. And yeah, you can find it all. This is a Dave Matthews song I never was able to play. So Dave Matthews is, more than any other artist, why I started to want to play guitar. I just wanted to be able to play like him on Dave and Tim live at Luther College. And this song, I remember walking by some guitar playing folks freshman year at University of Maryland. They were all playing this song, and they were so good. And I remember thinking, man, one day... Or no, I remember thinking, like, I wish I could do that. I never thought it was possible. I should try to learn that song, though. I did a lesson for Wish You Were Here. Pearl Jam, Wish List. That's a fun one. I played that one at open mic night back in 2004. Wonderwall. Ooh, baby. I had this one ready to go for a lesson a couple months ago. I never recorded it. I think because it's such a popular song, I really wanted to make sure it was really, really polished. That's the downside of sometimes I put stuff off too long. Anyway, Tom Petty, Sublime, you get the idea. So yeah, I'm gonna wrap this up basically, but I just wanted to show you this book and sort of take you on this tour. We'll go back to the table of contents. Again, show you sort of, this was what I spent a lot of time on back in the day. I'm just glad I still have it, and here I am to say, trying to rhyme. It's just about time for me to end this video, and let's call it, right? But thanks for watching, y'all. I just wanted to sort of share this with you guys and let you know a bit of the history of Song Notes, the channel that you are watching right now. So thanks for watching. I'm going to shut it off. Leave a comment, question. If you're watching this far, you're a true fan. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I always say, and I mean it, my friends, is I want you to pick up your guitar and play. Bye-bye.